Hello. Hey, Danielle. You had me at rum punch. I'm not even sure how to put this onto YouTube, but I'll figure it out. Okay, so I named this broadcast How to Get Your Mind Straight. So what I mean by that is, your mindset in this business is all about self-development and what you're doing. And so I think I've made videos about this before, but I often think it's overlooked as something that's not very important, and it is crucial. There's times in the business where I was like ready to promote. I had it all worked out, and then something happened and it didn't happen for like 3 months. And I triggered that to be from not doing the self-development. I was afraid of success. I was afraid to become that leader because I knew that, like, this was before I went diamond. I thought, well, that's a big deal. How am I going to lead all those people and that kind of stuff? So getting your mindset right off the start is so important. And so a little bit about my background is, when I grew up in a really negative household, and so that's all I knew. And so starting in this business, I was like seeking something, and I didn't even realize it at the time what I was looking for. And it took a lot of therapy too to get that negativity out of my life, but also self-development. So before I started in this business, I never read any books. Like, I think the last time I read a book was in high school when I was forced to, and I probably still didn't even do it. So one of the books that I read from the very start was A Spiritual Solution to Any Problem by Wayne Dyer. I'm just going to hold that up if you guys want to take a screenshot. And what this book did for me was it changed me completely. It opened my eyes up to how to deal with that anger that creeps up. It's not like business related anger by any means, but just, when you take that, when you're growing up with negativity, it's so easy to be snappy, grumpy, mad at the world. And this book seriously got me out of that. And I was like a changed person. It's just an amazing book. It's a super easy read. It's one of those books that I could not put down. So that's a good one, especially for someone who didn't read. So that was the first book that I read about like self-development, really healing my body and my mind. The next book was... the first month I joined the business, I ended up going to Mexico, and I picked up this book before I left, and I read it cover to cover. I mean, it's not a big book, but for someone who doesn't read very much, I picked this book up, and it was a game changer, completely game changer for network marketing, for my mindset, to know like that I read this book. It's called Beach Money. You guys can take a screenshot of that one too. I'll hold it there. Beach Money is the one that I took with me to Mexico. I read it on the beach, and I was still working full time, but it was such a huge eye opener because when I started this business, I was kind of like iffy about it. Like a lot of people, you're just like, oh, I have no idea what I'm doing. I didn't know it was going to be something that would turn into my full time at all. And so when I read this book, that's what made me like know that network marketing is where it's at. Like, it is a no-brainer. The day and age that we're in, it just makes sense. The fact that we have the ability to make money from our cell phones, no one could even do that 10 years ago. Like, this is insane what we can do. So Beach Money talks all about the guy's struggles and how he built his business to where he could sit on a beach, the residual income. And that's what gave me the vision for what we have with It Works. So that's one of my, I recommend that to anybody starting out, especially if they've never done network marketing before, because that's going to give you the vision and understand what you are having. And it also talks about the struggles, the ups and downs, because I think that's really important for people to know that it's not always going to be perfect, and it doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. And I think people often think, oh, well, I messaged 30 people and no one messaged me back. It's like, oh, well, that doesn't, message 30 more. That happens to all of us. It doesn't matter where you are in the business. It still happens. So just, you got to have thick skin and you got to let it just go. And people might not ever message you back, but that's okay. So the next book I read not long ago, actually, and it is by Arlene Dickinson, which is a fellow Canadian. And this is All In. This girl is amazing. So Arlene is incredible. She's from Calgary, where I lived close to. And she talks about, she has, I think she was in her 30s. She got divorced. She was a stay-at-home mom of 4 kids. She didn't have anything. She was pretty much left. She had no job history, nothing to go to with work. So she started her business, and she was doing everything she possibly could to work her business. And she is now on the Dragon's Den. That's where you guys would probably see her. And she talks about, when you're an entrepreneur, you are all in. And what that means is, you don't have an off switch. Essentially, in a way you do. Yes, you can put your phone away, you can do that, but it's always in your mind. How many of you guys, I need some hearts for this, how many of you guys try to turn off and you're still thinking about oh my gosh, what I'm going to post next? But in a positive way, you're excited about it. It's just it's a fire in your belly that you get, and you're just pumped. There's days where most days I work hours, probably 10 hours a day. And it's just because I'm so pumped. I'm so excited hearing from my team, all you guys. I just absolutely love it. It's just it is, there's never a day that I get up and I'm oh, I have to do It Works today. That doesn't happen. So she talks about how you're all in with the business, what that looks like. And I think it can also help people, who aren't familiar with the business kind of understand that lifestyle. When I used to work at waitressing, I just thought of the owner. He was in there every single day. He started this restaurant business. He was all in, and that's the way it is. You have to be like that. You're running a business, and we have to realize that this is a legit business, except it's even better because we get residual income and we have no overhead. We have an auto shipment and a website, which is amazing. We don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So those are just a couple of my favorite books. The Magic of Thinking Big is my #1 favorite book, but I don't have it because I lent it to another distributor. I would show you what it looks like, but you can Google it. The Magic of Thinking Big. It's unreal. You guys need to watch that. Read it. So, if you're not a fan of reading, you can get the audios. Don't use it as an excuse to not read. And you need to do it daily. If you miss a day, we're human. I do that sometimes. Even if you read a page, it will change everything for your business. Another thing that I want you guys to do is affirmations. Affirmations was something I thought was so ridiculous and silly when I started. But when I started, I listened to every single thing that Jacqueline and Kirsten told me to do. I believed if I did what the successful were doing, and Jacqueline was a Ruby when I started, and then she went ambassador 2 years later, or even a year later. So when successful people are telling you what to do, giving you tips, that's what you should do. Even if you think it's silly, that's what I did. And so I wrote down 10 things as if they already had happened. And I read them to myself every day. And then I actually forgot about them. I probably did it for a month. And then my notebook was put somewhere. I forgot to do it. And then come 10 months later, when I had quit my job, I found it and I read it. And 8 out of 10 things had come true. Yeah. and I wasn't even consistent with reading it. But like writing that down, putting it out there, it is going to happen for you guys. Like it is going to happen. I think I've been through, I wouldn't say the biggest ups and downs in this business, because I know there's like top leaders who have been through tragedies that you can't even imagine. But I've been through probably the worst parts of my whole life in the last 3 years doing It Works. Not It Works related, but just personal. And doing the self-development and having the It Works family, I don't know if I would have made it through the way I would have with It Works. It's just stay plugged into your team, stay plugged into the pages, and use it as a positive influence in your life. And if you were going through anything, the worst thing you guys can do is back away, because these are the people that are going to lift you up and believe in you no matter what happens. And believe it or not, I think everyone's been through probably what you're going through. If you're going through something, having issues with something, reach out to your upline. You can even reach out to a sideline, because it's really nice to connect with the sidelines. So affirmations, what I recently did was I actually recorded myself saying my goals and my affirmations out loud. I started recording it on my cell phone, reading off things off my dream board, and I actually just put it on play every morning while I'm having my coffee. And just putting that into your mind, I won't even sometimes be like focusing on it, but I just replay it and replay it and replay it. And it's amazing what it's done. It just keeps you pumped up every single day. So that is pretty much all I wanted to talk to you guys about, was just that self-development, how important it is for your mind to be on track. I can guarantee you guys, the moment you're feeling discouraged is the time that you stop self-development. Hands down. That can be conference calls, any books. If you're not reading, if you're not listening to the conference calls, and you're not plugging into the team pages, you're going to be discouraged, and you will probably end up quitting. It's just, that's the raw, honest truth. As soon as someone's not plugged in, you just lose it. So this is the book I'm reading right now. It's really, really good too. Oh. So you guys can take a screenshot of that if you want. This one is so good. I could go on and on with all the books that I love, but your list will be so long. So anyway, guys, I'm going to put this on YouTube, and just, you can go back and listen if you want to, but I just want you guys to know that I believe in every single one of you, and just focus on the self-development. It's just not pushed enough, and I can guarantee you your business will explode when your mindset is right. When your mind is right, you have confidence, you believe in yourself, and then other people will believe in you. And then your confidence is contagious. So when someone sees you, so here's an example. People wonder, like, well, how do you sign so many distributors? Or you're constantly putting people in the system, blah, blah, blah. Or any top leader, say they're, you see the people that enroll, top enrollers are like 28 distributors in a month. How they do that is because they're confident. And so once you start believing that you actually have a gold mine on, like, in your fingertips, and you need to share that with people, that's just what they see, and that's what they feel, and you have that confidence, and that's what's going to bring people to you, is the no-brainer that they need this in their life. And you're not just like saying it, you believe it. And that belief is what people are going to be attracted to. So anyway, guys, I hope you took something from this, and I will be on probably in a couple days. I'm going to start doing these a lot more often whenever I just have something come to my brain. I'm forgetful, so if I Periscope it right away, it will be out there for you guys, and you can soak all in whatever the craziness that goes on in my mind. So hope you guys have an awesome night. Bye.